Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are Splashtalks. We are your podcast for secure work, information technology, and innovation, and everything else Splashtop. Our main purpose really is to bring value to our customers and our clients, and future customers as well. So tune in. Today's guest, we have Alex, who is one of my favorite person ever, incredible leader who's been with us for quite some time, and he is the GM in EMEA as well as the VP of Sales in EMEA and Americas. And our topic again is scaling Splashtop in EMEA, and you've scaled other businesses in EMEA. So we are looking forward to your insights on how we can share with the rest of the world on any entrepreneur that is looking to migrate and expand their business from America here and out there to Europe. What are your, how can you help them evolve and scale? And you're all the way here from Amsterdam. We are happy to have you here all the time. You've been here a lot this year. And our history, the last 4 years have been incredible because obviously going through a pandemic, scaling the team there, all you're doing here, this guy does not stop, and people can learn from you. So welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Italo. I'm really excited to be here, and a great, topic for discussion.
Awesome, yeah. And we got our setup. We got a new prop, but it's not turned on, but we're on air. Hopefully every episode...
Do people know that?
I don't know. Someone just knocks on the door there. That may be a little awkward, but again, this is something we're really trying to take the information that we go through every day that I know could be applicable to so many people, and a little bit more in depth. We try to get into details of things because usually things are high level, and we're really trying to show, hey, what it's like inside a startup, what it's like inside a scale up, and what are the challenges we go through. And I know people will relate to it and be able to add to their own lives, or their own businesses. So first question I want to open up is, tell us a little bit about the journey. What were the decisions like, just getting Splashtop and any other stories from other businesses up and running in Europe? Because obviously there's a lot that goes through with doing that.
Yeah, no, thank you for the opportunity. I think it's really exciting, right? Like when I joined Splashtop, Splashtop was already a high-velocity e-commerce driven business, so they already had a little bit of run rate out of the EMEA region, but you would like to significantly expand. So Europe, Middle East and Africa, that's what the EMEA stands for, is a pretty wild region because it's not the 50 states of America. It's 120 different countries in EMEA, and that represents a 2.1 billion population. But they have more than 100 currencies and more than 200 languages used in that region. So it's not a similar market. It's really fragmented. It's broken, all different kinds of buying behavior. So when Splashtop decided to expand and invest internationally, we said, okay, are we going to attack the 120 countries with all the different buying behaviors? That's going to be really complicated. So we said, let's go deep before we go wide. If you would like to expand, it's then where are you going to start? And so I think there are certain countries which have a similar buying behavior as the United States, for example, the UK, but also the Nordics, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, but also Germany, Austria, Switzerland. But it is they have a couple of different languages, which I think is an advantage. Because what you can do if you go deep before you go wide is... there are two currencies, Great British pounds and euros. So you can do some price localization, you can do some testing. But also if you want to test a certain value proposition in a certain region, you can do it in German without it spilling to, for example, the Netherlands or the UK, because they typically don't really master the language. And if they see, they don't look at it. So I think it's an interesting experience. We decided to go deep before wide, which yielded a really good success. And I think now it's time to replicate the blueprint.
Tell me about going that direction. What were the initial challenges that happened, and how did you overcome there? How did you measure risks on your decision making, whatever decision you had to make to scale and move the business forward in whatever period of time you expecting to, get certain results or milestones?
Yeah. I think we had some data already from the US operation. So you have at least a baseline from what you can expect from buying behavior, how many leads you need, what the average sales size is. But it is slightly different in our region. But like what you try to do is make sure that you have enough volume to occupy at least one person. But before I started, like I was the first person on the ground, I, of course, did also what we did over here. So I was on chat, I was calling leads, I was creating opportunities, and also calling customers to understand where we added value and what was needed to be able to scale up. For example, in Europe, we have the EU GDPR or AVG, which is pretty strict data privacy rules. So if you want to be successful, you need to make sure that you can comply to that. So those were like nuances, regional nuances that we took back to our company, and which we immediately answered with creating a data center in the EU to comply to EU GDPR.
Very important.
That's like a critical point that you can service those. And then secondly, with doing so, we also supported the euro currency and Great British pounds, and that, of course, accelerates your expansion and your results.
What was your analysis of the competition, EMEA versus, let's say, Americas? Obviously, it's very clear identifying our competitors, but there are so many countries, different languages, different payment systems. What did you see in Splashtop that differentiated itself from the competition?
Yeah, look, I think there are a couple of things, but what I really liked is, and you only learn after you had some conversation, because our core competitors two of them are headquartered in Germany. They both have a freemium solution. And what you see is that, like the vision from our CEO, from Mark Lee, he says, like, I prefer if we would create a code of conduct amongst remote access providers, right? Because a lot of those tools, and especially if you have a freemium, which we do not offer, but if you have a freemium, that people can just sign up and use it, or they can use the tool without signing up, and that's a risk. So you see that remote access solutions sometimes are being used or abused for fraudulent activities. And like we opt in, or we would love to create a code of conduct where you need to sign up, validate, and verify to make it a safer place. But so I think that's a philosophy to make the world, the secure remote access and remote support solutions more safe. And that's something I really liked. And then when I met the founders, the company culture is so different than what I've experienced in all the other companies, because I'm pretty familiar. I used to work for another remote access company 14 years ago. And so I'm familiar with the products and solutions. And when I test it, like, it's lightning fast, it's super intuitive, and it's more cost effective. So it has all the winning elements. And then if you don't look under the hood, is that Splashtop really provides live technical support regardless of your company size. And if you look at other companies, they make you fill out tickets, right? And so, yeah, I think the difference in DNA is really important, because our founders, they really think, like, if we create happy employees, then we create happy customers. And I think that's literally what we're doing.
Awesome. And I know you always bring up being a leader, manager, director of the teams, and you've managed a lot of our...
It's a facilitator.
Yeah.
It's like overhead. It's a facilitator.
You've definitely worn a lot of hats, but you always bring up at Splashtop, you've never had escalation come to your desk.
Yeah.
And it really touches, I think, what you mentioned about the core, I think the fabric of companies. And again, we support so many IT help desks, right? And our goal is to give them that ease of access, quick solution to the end user. And I think it's like practice what we preach, and we got to do the same thing. And I think you seeing that validated some of the stuff that we've been doing to, I think, beat the competition, and hopefully that continues to be our progression and growth.
What I really like about Splashtop is, like, to your point, I've never had a technical support escalation on my desk. And when I was a sales rep at previous companies, you always have some challenges, right? And you always experience, like, things happen, the unexpected, right? It's how fast you can adapt. But, like, I've never had a technical support escalation on my desk. That's so unique, right? So we create products that just simply work. And you never need support, but if you need support, you want to be able to call somebody, pick up the phone or initiate a chat and get it resolved immediately, because people want to continue. So I think that's a unique trait. What we do is we don't spend a lot of marketing on a thing like freemium. So I think the downside is we have limit of less brand awareness, but the money that we save with that, we put in our organization. So this is literally how we can support and sustain an organization that's so incredible customer-centric.
Fantastic.
It really makes a difference.
Fantastic. And obviously been here for quite some time now. What would you say has been one or multiple customer stories that really impacted, your decision-making and, continuation of projects and hiring and expanding in EMEA?
Yeah, so I think if we take one step back, I think the thing that makes me really proud is, again, that customer-centric approach. And when COVID hit the world, like, fortunately, it's really long-term behind us. But our founder said, okay, if there are countries or regions impacted heavily, give away our solution for free so they can continue their business. And when, like, COVID is gone, we didn't know what to expect, right? Hopefully they will stay with us, right? So I think that whole philosophy is really nice. We sell to SMBs, to big Fortune 500 companies. Of course, we just signed up the biggest telecom providers in certain countries. That's great. But I think the use cases or case studies that touch me most are, for example, the educational use cases, and where we initially provided remote access for students to access more powerful campus devices, is now a solution that maximizes students' potential, because they can suddenly continue learning 24/7. But the more important thing is that because you have remote access, it doesn't matter from which personal device a student remote into the campus computer. So somebody with a lot of financial buying power or somebody with a Chromebook, they can almost experience exactly the same value. So equal learning opportunity for people. And those are things that I'm really proud of. But if you look at certain use cases, like, we, in addition to focusing on just a couple of countries to go deep, we also focus on a couple of industries and do well. Yeah. And I think organizations, for example, retail, we have a very nice hamburger chain in the German region. And they have 55 outlets. They use our solution to support the people who have, like, different competencies, right? You see the waiters, they're like social, super strong, and they create a nice environment for people to have an experience, right? Mm-hmm. And they're not tech savvy, but our customers, like one of those customers, bought our solution to support the less technical people to make sure that their point of sale devices that they use to craft, based on your preferences, the hamburgers, that it always works.
Yeah.
And in addition, they leveraged augmented reality to replace a lot of on-site visits with, like, this augmented functionality to put 3D objects in the space through the camera of this point of sale device. So they saved significant amounts of money. So if you start, and that's, of course, like, we try to do a case study and replicate that. We go to industry-specific events, and we're super data-driven, and then we understand exactly where to go, what the outcome will be.
No, this is all fantastic, and I know your knowledge of this is applicable to so many people trying to make that migration. So what is next for Splashtop EMEA? And then if you could touch as well, you've built a fantastic team there. What has been some of the key qualities that you've looked to bring someone in that region that can help expand another solution into obviously multiple different countries?
Yeah. So in Europe, we have like now a small team. I think we have 18 people, but 11 different cultures, and we have a bunch of people speak multiple languages. So that's really powerful, right? But we have everything centered in and around Amsterdam. We just expanded into Germany, but we always look for people who would like to have an impact. And I look for traits like, okay, what makes somebody unique, and are people coachable? I think that's really important, because I think a strategy is really important, but I fundamentally believe that culture will eat strategy for breakfast, if it comes down to that. And so we have a really strong culture. We celebrate success, but we also embrace failures, because that's where the learning is. And when we interview people, we always ask like we try to see like, is this somebody who just works from 9 to 5, or somebody who's really passionate about having an impact? And that's what we're looking for, people who are really willing to have an impact.
No, I agree with you. I think culture definitely sets the tone of day-to-day operations, the attitude that we all have towards each other, towards the customer, towards ourselves. Yeah. And I think you and obviously other leaders in the org bring that out, and it reflects back to the customer, right? So I think 100%. Independent of where you are, whether you're in America or EMEA, the culture is fundamental. And if you can align both orgs, both regions, it's going to succeed as well.
But I really want to say, like, it sounds like it's our EMEA culture, but it's not. It really comes down from our founders. Yeah. And I think they have a unique trait that they're so humble. Yeah. And I think being humble and vulnerable, that almost dictates our company culture.
Yeah, even with our team, we have trademark behaviors, and humble, humility, empathy are a big part of that. Yeah. But we're also always mindful that, we're working towards one goal. Absolutely. And then we need to be...
But we're also really competitive.
Yeah. You and I, at least.
Yeah. But like, it's not like, if you welcome a customer, like, you can celebrate that you welcome a customer, but like, I think everybody deserves a little bit of Splashtop. So we welcome a customer, but that means that all the other 2 or 3 or 4 competitive solutions lost that customer. So
we celebrate.
We celebrate 4 times.
Yeah, and hopefully our customers celebrate. A lot of times they do, because we've felt their pain, and we're able to get them a better solution. Yeah. So a hypothetical question for you. If you go back in time and you're a young entrepreneur, what advice are you giving yourself? What advice would you give young entrepreneurs or businesses migrating from or expanding in EMEA? Now that you've seen so many things, gone through so many things, what are some advices you'd give?
Yeah, so I think I touched on it a little bit. Like, I would embrace failures, because that's really where learning is. Yeah. And like, if work becomes work, it's going to be painful. So you need to find something that you have a lot of fun with, because like, I haven't worked a single day and I really like what I'm doing. I think that's important. But when you build your career, like, be vulnerable, be honest, be transparent, because you are making long-lasting relationships, meaningful connections with other people. And the world is really small. You never know where you're going to run into people. Yeah. And I fundamentally feel, I don't know I'm looking for the right word, but you only have, one name. So make sure that you're always honest, transparent. Yeah. And I think then also people like to give you business. Yeah.
No, I love that. I mean, I'm a big sports fan, and I follow a lot of MMA sports, and a lot of the
interesting one-on-ones.
Yeah, a lot of their philosophy or preparation, at least, is make friends with your worst outcome. So be prepared for your worst outcome, and then kind of work from there. How you're going to improve and and get to the next task. But these are all great advices. And that was our last question of the day. Great episode. I think a lot of good insights from what you just given us. And again, it's an honor to be working with you all this time.
It's 100% likewise.
Yeah. And,
your energy is so incredible, infectious.
Oh,
and you're here for how many years? 7, 8?
I had to get a haircut today so I could,
No, but it's I really envy your continuous enthusiasm, drive, energy, and it's really infectious. That makes me want to go to work, right?
Likewise, and I think that's the passion that brings your point that if you're passionate about what you're doing, you're not going to work any single day. And I think that's our goal, at least to pass to our customers, is that same passion, and hopefully put out a product that they're proud of, that they can use, and obviously we're proud as well.
I think we've seen it at the reviews, right? We can say how nice of good products we create, but let's look at the reviews that people are raving about the solution. So.
And with this podcast, we're hopefully going to be bringing, not hopefully, we are going to be bringing a lot more insights on what we've been working on, better training, better features, solutions. So
and
thank you.
business outcomes.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
And we'll enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you for being here. And that wraps up our episode.